watching, I love Aerosmith.
Yeah,
absolutely love Aerosmith. And I remember Steven Tyler saying that smoking, he had found from his friends that he had been through drug treatment with, was harder for them to quit smoking than it was substances.
Interesting. Yeah. So you have to give a lot of credit. And, I never like to be judgmental about it, right? But at the same time, you also have to be aware, right? Just as long as you have the awareness of what it means for you health-wise, I think that's important. So I think that'll be a good thing for the people in Staten Island to keep note of, as we just talked about. Now, here's something really important and really special. The Tunnels to Towers Foundation works really hard to help military and first responders and their families as well. So joining us now to discuss their work is board member John LaBarbera. I hope I say it right. LaBarbera?
Very good. You say it better than me.
All right, LaBarbera, I got you. Welcome to the show. We're so happy. First of all, thank you for all that you do. This is so important and close to so many of our hearts. I want to start this interview, if you don't mind, by talking a little bit about Steven Siller's story and how it inspired Tunnels to Towers.
Steven was assigned to Squad 1 in Brooklyn on that fateful day. Steven just got off duty to meet his brothers to play golf. He left the firehouse a little early. About a mile from the firehouse, he heard on the scanner that his company was responding to the World Trade Center, that a plane hit the Trade Center. Steven turned his car around, went back to the firehouse, but at that time, Squad 1 already responded to the incident.
Wow.
That did not deter Steven. Steven went in the firehouse, got his gear and his tools, jumped in the car, went to the Battery Tunnel, where they told him no civilian cars. Again, that did not deter Steven. He parked his car, he put his gear on, he took his tools. With 60 pounds of gear and tools, he ran through the tunnel to the towers, where he assisted in the greatest rescue on American soil. He gave his life with 342 other firefighters, police officers, and EMTs.
We're both like, chills. I mean, you talk about true heroism. That's a hero. That's a real life hero.
He was off duty.
Yeah.
He was there for his brothers and sisters in the fire department, and to help save those innocent lives.
That's right.
You can't, words fail to describe the strength of character that takes.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. So tell us, what are some of the recent ventures that Tunnel to Towers is embarking upon?
Well, again, thanks for having me. Thanks for having the foundation. We see a picture of Frank. For over 20 years, we've honored Steven's legacy. And this year, our goal is going to be to pay off the mortgages of 1,000 fallen first responders and military. In 2022 alone, we paid off 200 mortgages of catastrophically injured service members, firefighters, police officers that were severely injured, and paying off the mortgages of our fallen first responders and our fallen military. The biggest bill, the biggest worry that we all have is a mortgage. And to get that off their plate and to get them concentrating on other things is something we're very proud of, and we're very grateful for the help and support of folks like yourself and the American public.
Well, you should be very proud. I mean, we see the commercials, right? We hear about Tunnels for Towers, but to be able to have you here with us and to really break down what it really means, where it came from, what it's about, and what you're doing means so much to all of us. Because listen, this is, sometimes they say, with time, things, dissipate, right? Time heals all wounds, but listen, it doesn't pay all bills, and time doesn't take away the losses, right? So over the years, you've really been able to expand and not only bring Tunnels to Towers to light, but also to expand what you're doing. So can you tell us a little bit about how that has changed over the years?
Yeah, we've got a couple of major changes, a couple of new announcements. One is to eradicate veterans' homelessness, which is spreading throughout the country. We have projects now, 2 in California, 1 in Phoenix, and we're looking for other areas where veterans homelessness is. And as of now, we have provided over 500 housing units for our homeless veterans. We're very, very proud of that. And again, it's the generosity of the American public. And one other new initiative that we're also extremely proud of, and we have just a wonderful, wonderful team. It's called the 9/11 Institute. And that's to educate and inform our future generations about 9/11. And we give out curriculum to schools that go from K to the 12th grade, and we do break it down from K to 3, from 3 to 6, and so on and so forth. And we feel it's not being taught to the schools nationwide, and that's a very big initiative of ours.
Good.
We have a marvelous team, and we have a lot of support that goes with the curriculum. We have books. We have speakers. We send 9/11 firefighters. We send Gold Star families to talk about what happened on that fateful day, and it cannot be forgotten. And the foundation, the Silla Foundation, is going to make sure that never does.
Wow, I love hearing that. I think that's so important.
Well, and we were just talking before the show. I love the Tunnel to Towers run. I've actually run the course for several years.
That's incredible, isn't it? I love
and
that.
I have to say, as someone, I'm not an athlete. I after I had my children, I started going to the gym to run. And I would say, "Does anybody want to go for a run?" And I'll be honest with you, nobody likes to run in my family. So it was my only time to get alone. It was like, okay, great. I get my time alone. So I started running. And every year my goal is to be, strong enough to run the Tunnel to Towers.
I love
and
that.
there is nothing more moving than when you come out of the tunnel and you see the NYPD, FDNY lined up out of the tunnel on the Manhattan side with banners of these fallen FDNY members and NYPD members, big banners. They're in their uniforms. And they're high-fiving you as one of the runners. And you're going through this, and it's so humbling because it's like, all I did was sign up and put a bib on my shirt. And sometimes I have to take a break from the running because you're tired and you're walking. And they're thanking me for not forgetting the sacrifices. And it's such a moving event just for, someone, a casual jogger runner. And knowing that the positive impact that happens. I mean, it's one of those things that everyone can do. You can walk it. You don't have to run it. And
it's a run, walk.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And the huge party once you get through the finish line, and there are members of the military, members are first responders. It's absolutely, it's a life-changing annual event for me.
As you continue along West Street, you pass all the banners of the fellows of the first responders. There are over 3,000 photos of our veterans who gave their lives. So from coming out of that tunnel and seeing our fallen first responders, and across the street, West Point holding the American flags. And get down West Street, the fallen veterans and how young they are and the sacrifice they made in their families.
Absolutely. And going to the World Trade Center and the memorial, you really do. I recently went just because sometimes you just need to get grounded and realize your appreciation for those out there who lost their lives doing what they did for all of us. And, you think about that and you think how precious life is and how precious the heroism of New Yorkers are. Right. So every time you see that memorial there, you see people from all over the world honoring those fallen heroes. And so I'm so glad for all that you're doing, for all that you did. I would love to participate in something like that. And I know so many of our viewers would.
Absolutely.
How
and
can
it's
people,
easy.
Yeah. How can people find out more and help out?
Sure. If I could just say one other thing.
Sure.
We just recently paid off the mortgages of 9 New York City fallen first responders.
Wow.
First responders area. We are now a nationwide foundation, but we're very proud of the work that we do right here. I would encourage each and every one of you to go to T.org and contribute $11 a month to our programs, where 95.1 cents on the dollar goes to the program, where we have over the last 7 years a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator.
Wow.
And the race is not just a race, it's a run, walk, and it's the greatest experience you'll ever see.
Yeah.
It's the last Sunday in September of 2023. Go to T.org.
Fabulous. My goodness. What a treat, John. Thank you
Thank you so much for coming and talking with us and sharing your the information about Tunnel to Towers. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. I'll pass that along to all of us at the foundation. Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate you. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Well, coming up, the latest on the union issues at Amazon, at the warehouse there in Staten Island. Big stuff there happening.
Right. Plus, why you may be seeing fewer deer in Staten Island. Interesting, dear. We'll have to talk about that. It's coming up.
And you can always find us on social media. Search the Staten Island Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and just click along to follow.
As an Olympic athlete, I prepare for everything. So when I became pregnant, I thought I was ready. But at 32 weeks, I was diagnosed with severe preeclampsia and had an emergency C-section. Looking back, had I known the warning signs, I would have talked to my doctor sooner. Too many women die of pregnancy-related complications, and most are preventable. If you or someone you know is pregnant or recently had a baby, learn the warning signs. It could help save her life. Hear her.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag.
When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our communities safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
We're just jamming out.
It's club music. It's Staten Island after all, right? We got to fist pump a little bit. Welcome back to the Staten Island Morning Show. Let's head back over to our good friend and meteorologist, Mike Favetta. He's got another check of the forecast.
Good morning to you guys. Yeah, the suspense. You know, there's going to be a little bit of, I think, rain that comes in by the end of the week, but I don't think it's a washout, and it shouldn't really impact most of your late weekend plans. Saturday could still have some lingering showers, but it is going to turn a little bit milder as we started off the month, slightly below average, and we're going to likely turn a little bit milder as we head into the end of this week. So it was a chilly start this morning, started off the day with temperatures in the mid 30s. Now we're on our way into the low 40s, but by this afternoon, a little bit of sunshine returns, and that is also the case again for tomorrow. So we get 2 days of dry, decent weather. Temperatures should be in the mid to low 40s for the middle of January here on Staten Island, and that's basically what we see going into tomorrow. Then Wednesday into Wednesday night brings back a little bit more cloud cover, followed by some rain as soon as Thursday afternoon. And it's a quick hit of some wet weather that moves in but moves out by Friday morning, and then another lingering shower or two takes over for Friday night into Saturday. So it's a bit of a wet and rainy pattern. Even though it's not a complete washout, there will be some slightly milder weather coming into the upcoming weekend. Look what happens to the temperatures. We get into the low 50s by the end of the work week. Thursday and Friday will both be around 52 degrees. So it'll feel at least better than the low 40s. Even check out the morning temperature starting off the day earlier on Thursday morning at 50 degrees. That'll be impressively mild for January. But again, with some extra clouds around, won't see a whole lot of sun by Friday. Saturday starts off a little bit wet, and then the cold returns on the 7-day forecast. I'll show you those numbers, let you know how chilly it gets coming up in your 7-day forecast. That's in just a few minutes. Nikki, Monica?
Thank you, Mike. You know, you were talking about a complete washout. I'm thinking about everything going on right now in Montecito and everywhere in California.
Yeah.
They are really experiencing some major heavy rain, especially, you know, in areas that don't typically get as much rain.
It really is. And, it's incredible how that atmospheric river, as it's called, brings in all of that moisture to the West Coast. It's known as, well, the Pineapple Express. That is the name of the atmospheric river that delivers just tropical moisture and feet of it to the West Coast. We actually have a little information on that coming up with tomorrow's show. So check in and we'll give you some details on what's happening in California, because it really is a big deal on the West Coast.
It really is. Thank you for that, Mike. I know the Golden Globes are tonight, so a lot of people have their umbrellas ready so they don't ruin the hair and the makeup and the gowns and the tuxes, of course, those important things. We actually have to really worry in all seriousness. I'm glad we're going to talk about this for tomorrow, because it is important. There's a lot of lives that are at risk right now. So we don't want to make light of that.
No. Well, the union representing warehouse workers for Amazon on Staten Island is starting a new program to help workers process on-duty injury claims. It's really important.
Absolutely. A law firm has actually been retained by the union and will help workers at the plant with paperwork and policies regarding injuries and any injuries that were suffered, particularly on the job. It's the latest move for the union, which became the first in the country to represent Amazon workers last year.
And that's, so hugely important, because it's setting a precedent for, other unions, especially Amazon. It's a big deal, big deal. Well, if you're noticing fewer deer on Staten Island recently, there's a good reason. Data from the Department of Parks and Recreations estimate that we've had a 30% drop in deer population since 2016.
Yep.
The decline is deliberate. They're doing it on purpose. It's part of a program, part of that program is to take care of deer and provide vasectomies to get the deer population under control and to provide birth control to deter the population, or curtail, rather.
It's interesting. And we'll have actually a really great interview and a story on that tomorrow's show as well, because it's a big deal. And a lot of people are taking notice, because for a while there, you couldn't pull down one street and not see deer, a family of deer everywhere. See my sister's front yard almost every time I go to her house.
Well, and beyond that, they destroy your shrubs. Look, they're cute. Everybody loves Bambi.
Sure.
I am not taking anything away from Bambi by any means. But they destroy your shrubs many times, and they create a real danger on the roads for drivers, especially new drivers. And on Staten Island, the roads, there's a lot of one-way intersections and things like that, small, skinny roads that, I think sometimes people are surprised that we have so many deer, in the area.
Yeah, it's a reason. It actually deters a lot of people, I think, from driving at night. I know for a long time it has. So it'll be interesting. So stand by and stay tuned for that tomorrow. It'll be a little more of an expansion on that story. So I think you'll appreciate that. In the meantime, with the new year now underway, the NYPD is actually looking for new officers. The online application window for new officers is now open. Anyone interested in joining can sign up for the entry exam and take the first step toward becoming an NYPD officer. The current application window will remain open until the end of this month. More information on applying can be found at nypdrecruit.com.
Oh,
so that'll
how cool.
be great. I listen, we need those officers. And I know for a while there we've really dealt with a shortage because of so many things going on.
Yeah. And more officers mean safer streets and, reduced crime rates. And it makes life more enjoyable for everyone in all 5 boroughs. So
and I've lived all over this country, right? And I will tell you, the respect that the country as a whole has for NYPD. You don't go to another state and buy a baseball cap that says, Iowa, Iowa police. But everybody comes to New York and wants an NYPD hat or an NYPD shirt. There's a special honor in being an NYPD officer. So I hope we get a lot of applicants. It's so important.
I do too. Well, Staten Island, the musical, is a new play that takes place right here on Staten Island. Here now to tell us more about it are the creators of the musical, Matt, and excuse me if I'm mispronouncing, I have an Irish heritage here, Matt Izuzo and Sam Lopi. I apologize. I'm Irish, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So Matt Izzo, Sal Volpe.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for helping me out with that.
Welcome, guys. We're so happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. So what inspired you to come up with this concept for the musical?
Well, we've wanted to, we've been friends since high school, and we've wanted, a pipe dream of ours was to make a musical. And eventually, like, all right, we just got to do this thing. What's it going to be about? So we basically decided to write what you know. There's just so much material around us on a daily basis. We really wanted to make something that, obviously there's a lot of comedy here. There are a lot of stories that make you think, but also there's a lot to celebrate. And so we want to take everything that we loved about the island, everything that kind of annoyed us, and just make a positive spin on it. Yeah. So that we're celebrating it. Even the things that frustrate us, we can make it a metaphor for something that means something deeper. And that's where we find the comedy.
Right.
I love it.
It started with a note on one of our friends' cars, and we kind of just knew, okay, this is the show we're gonna make.
When you're looking around, you see some patterns here. Is the windshield note when you park in someone's spot. You don't have to be in front of the fire hydrant. If you're in the spot, you will get the note. And so that's the first song we wrote was "You're in My Spot." Story.
Yeah.
The friend who got the note is now directing our show, and the song is our most popular. The phrase is on T-shirts, and that's what I mean. We put the positive spin on something that frustrated us, and now just multiply that by a 2-hour show.
What I love so much is that you have the concept, you had this idea, and you actually made it happen. Because so many of us, I grew up doing musical theater, and I actually worked off Broadway with somebody from Staten Island who put a show together because of his love for Staten Island as well. And I can tell you, we all have these big dreams and these ideas, but actually doing something and executing it is so huge. And the process is so intricate. And people come and they see a show, they see it on stage, they see it in its final, the result, if you will, but the process is so different than what so many people actually understand. So can you tell us a little bit about that process, especially getting ready for that very first show?
Yeah. So it all started last year, 2 years ago. Yeah. We're in 2023. It's not just writing the wrong number on a sheet of paper. It's not. Yeah. So in 2021, we had started on our draft. We were working on it remotely, and we were just doing a little workshop read. And then a bunch of people were like, "Are you actually going to put it on?" And so we tried to figure out during a pandemic how many places can you perform? And the answer is very few. But we ended up actually performing in the outside of the National Lighthouse Museum next to the ferry terminal at St. George. And so this big, beautiful open plaza. They do a lot of different events there. We had seen Broadway in the boroughs there, so we know that you can fit a big crowd, you can put sound and all that stuff. And we jumped on Kickstarter, and we got as many people as we could to try to donate. And then we ended up having over 500 people come out.
Wow.
Sold out an outdoor show in with no rain during the performances.
That's incredible.
Just before one of the shows, we were very terrified. But like you said, there's a lot that goes on, and especially we had 1,000,001 headaches. It was just our first run. But then we were like, okay, well, how do we maintain this momentum? And we looked into a bunch of different places, and one of them was the location we were before here in December, which is the Tank, which is an off Broadway theater in Midtown Manhattan, just a little bit from Madison Square Garden. And we had just, kept trying to figure out who's going to be involved in our show and who can come and support us. We had a bunch of people from Manhattan come, and now we are.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and a big part of that, as we took the show out of Staten Island, was how to make sure the content is still relatable to people who either don't have the best perception of Staten Island or So our philosophy is coming up with the Staten Island version of everything. Because people, no matter where you're from, we've had people from all over the city, all over the country, some different countries.
Yeah, we have people from Australia who've come to see the show who thoroughly enjoyed it and understood it. And
we just, we're very specific sometimes with, Staten Island issues and comedy characters. But people say, hey, I have a version of that in my hometown. I know that this is what goes on where I'm from. So in that way, we keep it relatable, but also, teaching people what it's all about. And it's not just what you see on TV. It's not just all the things that make you roll your eyes. It's, it's a little bit deeper than that. And again, the central conflict is, especially for people who grow up on Staten Island, do you stay forever? Do you leave? People are very passionate about that answer. All our characters are, and we explore that.
I think the answer isn't the answer that most of them, if they leave, they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah.
good. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them moved to Jersey.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they'll come out and see the show, and that way they can come back.
I love this. I'm so glad you're doing this. Listen, we need comedy in our lives. We need music in our that, and I think that's probably why it did take off so instantly during that time period, because I think we were all as a society, I think we were craving that collective enjoyment that we get from the theater experience, right? With music and laughter, and especially like you said, something that's relatable, but also kind of a glimpse into the Staten Island world that people that are not from Staten Island get to see and appreciate. And so what reception from the audiences have you been hearing about? What have people been saying? What has it been like?
Well, one of our best comments is, "It's better than I expected."
Always good. Always good.
Wow, it's Staten Island in a nutshell.
Yeah, it really is. It's better than I expected. There is more than just the mall, and maybe if you're aware, Snug Harbor, right? Like there are more things to do on Staten Island.
People
and
laugh, people cry.
I mean, like we said, we have lifelong New Jerseyans who are just like, what? And then like people, like I said, Australia, Europe, like we've had a bunch of like out of town and out of country people come to see the show and just thoroughly enjoy it, resonate with a lot of the story. And in the center of that picture that's on the screen right now is as our lovable narrator, the ghost of Groundhog Chuck.
You're kidding.
Fortunately, dropped in 2014.
Yes.
Right.
Back to help us out.
But it's a lot of this. Wow, like there's actually something I can resonate with. I have friends who've already talked about their own spin-off plots revolving around Chuck and the logic of our world. So like there's a lot of people who are deeply invested in not just the comedy but also the message of our show. Because it really is about us being, we talk about Staten Island a lot as being the forgotten borough, but this is a show that makes the forgotten borough remembered. Like really acknowledging what makes us who we are and what makes us so relatable to everyone else.
Oh, that's such a great thing to do.
And I love that. Staten Island Chuck, God rest his soul. Well, I'm dying to come and see it. Where can people like me and others find out how to get their tickets?
Well, we're going to be here at the Avenel Performing Arts Center in Woodbridge, New Jersey. It's 10 minutes from the Outer Bridge. We're here this weekend, Friday through Sunday. We have 4 shows. You can get tickets on brownpapertickets.com. If you search for Staten Island Musical, you can go to our website, which is thisisit.com. And it's THISIZZIT.com. And you can also find us on social media at Staten Island Musical.
Yeah, we're on everything. So
great.
We'll find you. I think our viewers are excited about this, I'm sure. So I'm so glad we've done this interview with you. Guys are so much fun. If you're half as fun, in the theater, then I think we're gonna have a very good time.
Oh yeah, for sure of it.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Matt and Sal. It's been a pleasure. And I appreciate this, right? Because I love theater so much.
Oh, I do too.
I love something that's kind of homegrown, right? That's what makes it fun.
Yes, and it's relatable and it feels like you're hanging out with family and friends and just like, it's one thing for other people to talk about Staten Island or, wherever you're from. But, when we do it ourselves.
Right. It's like family, right?
Exactly.
I can say whatever I want about my sister, but you better
can't.
not.
No, exactly not. Well, turning to more serious business, flu season pretty severe here on Staten Island. We've got the latest on what you can expect.
Plus, one woman is honoring her late friend by helping Staten Island families cope with terminal illness. That's coming up as well.
And again, you can always find us on social media. Search the Staten Island Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
Nothing mysterious there. These are captions. Open captions are the on-screen display of a movie's dialogue, speakers' names, and sounds. Theaters in New York City are now required to show some of their movies with open captions. To learn more, visit nyc.gov/captions.
This is the place. Hey! Hey, yo, this is my grandson, Mike. It's his 18th birthday.
Man.
Wow, one of the best years of my life.
Well, when I was 18, the ladies used to think I was fine.
Yeah, your grandma, maybe. Oh,
come on, man.
He's a smart guy, but I thought he could use a little advice today. Start putting away some money.
Call your mother.
And now that you're 18, you need to sign up with the Selective Service System.
Remember Jamie Thomas?
Yeah.
Heard he didn't register and was denied a job with TSA.
There you go.
That's it. Save money, call mom, and register with SSS.
Well, one other thing. Get yourself some better kicks.
Ugliest shoes I've ever seen.
Be the man. Register with the Selective Service System today at sss.gov.
And them socks, my God.
Getting our groove on here.
Every time.
That's right. Hey. All right. Well, welcome back. Right now, we're going to get a check of our weather with meteorologist Mike Favetta. How you doing, Mike?
Hey there. Good morning to you both. Hope you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up.
Hey, I see that thumbs up. How are you, Mike?
Good. We'll just keep on trucking along here. Anyway, we started off this morning with what started out as a pretty cloudy day, but there's some rain on the way, and that rain comes in later on. And we head into the end of the day on Thursday, going into Friday. That's when some of our wet weather gets going, and it looks to be a pretty quick hit of rain that takes us into Friday morning. So we'll show you the weather maps here, and it's focused on early Thursday morning. You see a lot of the wet weather getting going off to the west of Staten Island. So we'll circle Staten Island there, and you can see it right there on the center of the screen. Going into the late part of Thursday afternoon, however, it gets a little bit wetter with the rain moving in. You can feel that shade of blue. That's the wet weather that takes us into Friday morning. And then still, Friday afternoon, I think it's wet and windy. It's over lingering showers. You see the shade of blue showing the rain. And really, most of it is offshore for most of the day on Friday. But there's a lot of wind that comes in for the day on Friday. So it's windy, it's warm, and then you see some new colors here on the map, especially right over Staten Island. Going into the end of the day, see the color yellow there. This is early in the afternoon on Saturday. That represents some mixing and some skeleton and snow as some very cold weather regions by the end of the afternoon on Saturday. So typically, when these type of weather scenarios happen, we get a lot of rain followed by some cold air, and sometimes that means that a little bit of snow would follow. If you're down, icy crust on the mark up and on the sidewalk, no, but I think there'll be a little bit of wet weather that gets us going by the end of the day. And a little touch of snow for the end of the day on Saturday. So until that time, we go a little bit of mild weather. This day on the milder side. The weekend turns colder by Sunday. The right column here, all the suns lined up in Staten, New York, even by New England, Topsville. You will see temperatures anytime to the low 40s with those gusty breezes. So you feel chilly as you head to the end of the weekend, and that brings on a little bit of a cold feel into next week. 7-day forecast here for Staten Island shows mostly cloudy skies. Again, that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Rain. The best chance of seeing that flake or flurry towards Saturday afternoon after that wind, and by the 15th Sunday and Monday, notice that the temperatures cool off a bit, starting off down below the 50 mark and below 30 but much colder feel, especially as we get early and with that little bit of a milder trend while it lasts. We've got more details on what to expect, and even tomorrow, so there'll be a lot lined up. We will recap what happened during the month of December. We had some very cold weather, and we had some very warm weather. That cold weather really gives us all those details coming up for tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Mike. I know we had a little bit of an audio issue, so we apologize for that if you guys heard Mike as if he was just a little further away than normal, but always such helpful and important weather information. Thank you for that,
Absolutely.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Now, I think this is going to be some hopeful and helpful and positive news for everybody. The flu cases in Staten Island continue to trend downward since the last week. And this is great news. According to the latest data from the State Department of Health, Staten Island recorded 358 cases last week, marking a 28% decline from the week before. It's the fourth straight week with a decline, as cases peaked in early December at 1,020 cases. The case count hasn't been this low since early November.
Well, definitely good news, and hopefully some more good news. Staten Islanders will have a chance to win $1.1 billion with the jackpot for tonight's Mega Millions drawing. I've got my ticket.
Me too. I got 3 tickets. 3 of them.
This is the third largest jackpot in Mega Millions history, the result of a 3-month-long winter drought after the last jackpot hit $502 million. I had a ticket for that too. Obviously, did not win.
Yeah.
This is also the second jackpot that's more than $1 billion in the last month, having hit $1.3 billion. Just in July. So not the last month. I misspoke there. So since July.
I will tell you, I'm so sorry, guys. I love all of you. I'm winning. I'm planning to win tonight.
And you know what? I have to just say, you're so magnanimous that you're splitting it with me. So if you don't see Nikki again or me again, it's because we are now in Aruba and we've bought Aruba.
Billionaires. Yes, yes. Good luck to all of us.
Of course.
And
just so you know where the money really will be.
Just in case you were wondering. I'm very excited about it. But, listen, it's, what is it, a 1.3 billion chance of us winning? I don't know.
Somebody's got to win.
Somebody has to. Why not any of us, right? That's the point. Okay, well, the Jenna's Journey Foundation was created after Jenna Esposito suffered from 6 years of terminal brain cancer. It's a tough story. And, now they're looking to help others in similar situations.
And here to tell us more now is the foundation's founder, Jen Cody. Thanks so much for coming in with us this morning, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, especially before you relocate to Aruba.
Hey, you know what? Come join us.
Sure, absolutely.
You're welcome.
We'll be on Eagle Beach.
Yeah.
Well, tell us, how did your friend's journey inspire your work for the foundation? Talk to us about Jenna.
Yeah, actually, Jenna had a huge role in the founding of Jenna's Journey. So Jenna and I were friends from childhood, and she was diagnosed with brain cancer about 8 years ago. And she was only given 18 to 24 months to live. And really, she was a strong fighter. And I think through sheer will and the grace of God, she was with us for many years after that, and many good years. And then as she started to decline, we realized just how much of a financial burden it can be when people face these types of medical emergencies. And Jenna was someone who had a very strong support system. She had a family who loved her, lots of friends around, great health insurance, and yet there's still always something to take care of every day. There's always something unexpected, always something that needs to be financially covered. And she and I spent every day together in the last days of her life. And we spent a lot of time talking about how hard it would be, it is, for people who don't have that support system. And so together, she and I came up with the idea for Jenna's Journey, and that's how we were born. So it's really a great tribute to a beautiful person, and I'm happy to carry it on in her name.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm sure she felt so blessed to have you in her corner all the way through those difficult times. And so, you made a great point about the fact that so many people don't have that support, right? And so I know we're all interested in knowing what the role is in Jenna's Journey for all those families who are in similar situations, and how is this helping them as well?
So we really started out not knowing exactly what Jenna's Journey would look like. We knew we wanted to help people. And we started throwing around different ideas of how we can connect people with different vendors, or maybe get people to donate items. And honestly, finances is what people need most. You never know what's going to happen, and bills need to be paid. People have children who are undergoing treatment, and then they have other children in the home who need rides to sports activities and need babysitting services and need a home cooked meal. So what we decided to do is create a vetting process where we get in touch with the families, or they get in touch with us rather. We're able to, go through a process where we can verify their need, and we just distribute funds to them directly, and they're able to use those funds however they need to. So like I said, whether they need to take care of transportation, they need to pay co-payments, they need to pay for hotel rooms to go for treatment, whatever it is that they need, that's up to them. They don't need to clear that with us. We distribute the funds to them to use at their own discretion.
That's incredible.
That's great, And I'm sure there is no shortage of need. How have you been able to grow Jenna's Journey since you founded it?
Well, honestly, in the beginning, it was all word of mouth, and we just got people kind of recommending us. We would get in touch with one family, and most of these families belong to different networks, right? They have huge networks of people going through the same treatments as they are, or maybe using the same medical services. So that started to be how we got different families contacting us. And honestly, we've grown so much. We're a very baby organization. We were founded at the end of 2020. And so we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary. And in the first 2 years, we've been able to help just about 23 families. Wow. And now, just in 2023, it's January 10th, and I'm now speaking to my third family for the year. So we're definitely growing rapidly. So the funds are necessary. We need to reach as many people as possible so that we can fundraise and try and get the money into these hands of the families that really need it most.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here today, because you're obviously bringing light to this to so many of our Staten Island viewers as well. And so I know that you have a fundraiser coming up. What should our viewers and everyone watching, what should they know about the upcoming fundraiser on the 28th?
Yeah, thank you so much. So you can go to our website at any time. It's jennasjourneyfoundation.org. And right now there is a link on there to purchase tickets to our fundraiser. It's being held at Paradise Island on Ellis Street, right here in Staten Island. It's at 8 p.m. on January 28th, and it is a comedy night. So Jeff Paul, who you may have seen on Netflix, is hosting the event. He has many comedians coming to spend the night with us, and it's really affordable. It's $25 a ticket. You can come, have a couple of drinks, some appetizers, some dinner with your friends and family. It's a Saturday night that you can spend for a really great cause. So I encourage everyone to check it out, and please buy your tickets soon so we don't sell out.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be so nice. I think it'll be a huge success, and you deserve it.
I hope so.
Sure.
And
Thank
sometimes
you.
laughter can be a very powerful medicine.
No doubt about that.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. God bless you. And of course, thank you for keeping Jenna's memory alive for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jen. Cody, thank you so much. Now, coming up, bridge tolls are on the rise. We'll tell you by how much.
Plus, a look at the Giants' first playoff game since 2016.
I think it's because I moved back. I'm really excited about that.
Well, it is.
You can also always find us on social media. Search for the Staten Island Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
As an Olympic athlete, I prepare for everything. So when I became pregnant, I thought I was ready. But at 32 weeks, I was diagnosed with severe preeclampsia and had an emergency C-section. Looking back, had I known the warning signs, I would have talked to my doctor sooner. Too many women die of pregnancy-related complications, and most are preventable. If you or someone you know is pregnant or recently had a baby, learn the warning signs. It could help save her life. Hear her.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag. When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our community safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
And let's get one final look at the weather with meteorologist Mike Favetta.
Good morning, guys. I'm back. Yeah, we've got some beautiful weather ahead for the rest of today. The trouble is that by the time we get into the end of the week, that's when some rain moves in. And this rain will give us a little bit of wet weather. Some mild air comes in, but it does turn windy too. So have the umbrellas at the ready beginning early Thursday morning. I think most of Thursday afternoon starts with a little bit of drizzle as the rain moves in, but the heavy hitting rain comes in later Thursday night. Friday will likely just be gray and dreary with some drizzly spots with another round of rain that comes in for later Friday. And then Saturday starts off wet but much colder as temperatures only climb into the mid 40s. Notice the change there, the drop going from the 50s on Friday back into the 40s, and then the 30s come Sunday and Monday. So the weekend is not a wash. We clear that rain out by Saturday evening, even have a few maybe snowflakes mixed in with that rain by the end of the day Saturday. Sunday is nice and dry to start, and I think Monday looks great as well. Plenty of clear sky to get into the next week in January as we start off MLK Day on Monday as a nice sunny and dry day. Plenty of clear sky around to begin next week. Looking forward to the milder trend, but in terms of snowfall or at least accumulations, none for the next 7 days. So we'll keep an eye on things. Let you know if we really start to feel that winter chill here across Staten Island that you'd expect by now going into the middle of the month. But at least on the long range charts, don't see anything yet. So still waiting on that snow to fall. Nikki and Monica here in Staten Island.
Thanks. I was in Minnesota for New Year's Eve weekend. It was like a winter wonderland. There was just snow everywhere. It was so cold. It was so beautiful. And then I was like, okay, bye. I'm good now. Because then there was 12 inches of snow the next day after I left.
Sure.
And I thought,
yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to take this New Jersey weather. I didn't need a jacket the first few days of the month. I think all of us are collectively happy about the start of this new year. So let's keep it going, Mike. Don't let Mother Nature get us back later this winter.
Well, it's interesting. For tomorrow's show, I'm going to give the stats of what we expect and what we usually see. And we are way below average for snowfall so far this year on Staten Island. So it's something that, we're kind of waiting on. Right, Monica?
Well, so here's the thing, right? As Nikki and I were discussing earlier, we are winning the big jackpot.
The billion.
Yep. Yep. So my thoughts about snow are you will find me again on Eagle Beach.
Got it.
On Aruba.
Okay.
And so the lack of snowfall this year, I'm all right with it.
You okay with
it? If
I
want snow, I'll go to the Poconos. I'll visit. It's like a nice place to visit. Snow's a nice thing every now and again, but I don't want it in my town.
Right.
I don't want to deal with the mess. So you, Mike, keep your snow.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you for that. Honestly, thank you for the update also for MLK, because I know a lot of people have the day off from school and work, so it's a long weekend for a lot of people.
My kids have 5 days off.
Yeah, so
that's
thank you for that, Mike.
My kids have 5 days off. I don't need my kids home for 5 days with snow.
Well, there's always playtime if it snows, but it's not going to. So we appreciate that update. Thank you so much, Mike.
See you later, Mike.
Now, speaking of snow and the roadways and all the things that we deal with, here's one thing that commuters do have to deal with. Between Staten Island and New Jersey, you're now paying a little more at the toll booth. It's part of a long planned toll hike that was approved as part of the 2023 Port Authority budget. Tolls increased by $1, with non-Easy Pass drivers actually paying $14.75. The Outerbridge Crossing and the Goethals and Bayonne bridges all saw toll hikes as part of the inflation-based increase. So that's the story there.
Open an artery.
It is what it is, right? I mean, I don't think it's as shocking.
No.
But, now, we started talking a little earlier. I took a little credit for the Giants. I shouldn't. It has nothing to do with me at all. But
I think it does.
Well, I was being self-gratuitous because as a Giants fan, I was very thrilled that they kind of turned things around this year now that I've moved back into the area. So I'm very happy about that. And I know our good friend Chris Sikonis has a whole lot of story for us about sports.
That's right. Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Monica. Giants are headed back to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. They'll take on the Vikings in Minnesota on Sunday. It's been a stark turnaround for New York under first-year head coach Brian Daboll, who cited the play of key players like defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence as a factor in the postseason run.
Dexter's been a really good team leader for us. He's been a good player for us. I think different people build their teams different ways. I think it's important to be strong up the middle. Dexter's had a good season for us. I'm glad he's on our football team.
Quarterback Daniel Jones has also had a breakout year, throwing for a career-high 3,205 passing yards while completing 67% of his passes. Giants actually played the Vikings during the regular season, with the Vikings pulling out the narrow 27-24 win back on Christmas Eve. Moving over to the NBA now, the Knicks fell 111-107 to the Bucks at the Garden last night. Career-high 44 points from Jalen Brunson wasn't enough to hold off a late comeback from Milwaukee. Julius Randle had a double-double with 25 points and 16 rebounds, while Emmanuel Quickley also had a hot hand with 23 points for the Knicks. Rangers look to bounce back from last weekend's overtime loss to the Devils when they play the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7. They're facing a Minnesota team that's riding a hot offense, averaging over 3 goals per game on the way to a 6-3-1 record over their last 10. New York is currently 4th in the Metropolitan, sitting just 6 points back of the leading Carolina Hurricanes. As for the Islanders, they'll host the Dallas Stars at 7:30 tonight. Isles have lost 3 of their last 4 games, most recent defeat coming 4-1 at the hands of the Calgary Flames. The Islanders have 46 points on the season so far, fighting for the last wild card spot at this point of the year. That's what's happening in sports. We'll send it back over to you.
Thanks so much, Chris. That last Vikings-Giants game, so all my friends in Minnesota, we were texting back and forth, and it was a rivalry. And then they made fun of me the whole time, like, we're killing you. Then we tied it at that end, and I was like, don't mess with us. Don't mess with New York ever. And then they had the last word when in that final couple seconds, everything changed. I was very upset. So this time we've got a debt to pay, and we're going to pay it, and we're going to win.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be on the minds of everyone in the Giants locker room. And we also have about a 35-degree lead in terms of winter temperature. So we've got that going for us as well. So
very true. Chris, thank you so much. We appreciate that sports update. And I am shocked, but that just went, that hour just flew. I thank you so much for watching us today. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Monica Guy. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, bright and early at 9 a.m.
Have a great day.